Could I call to order the meeting of the Township of Hamilton Township Committee for Monday, March 17th, 2025. Please stand for the flag salute. Richard?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by transmitting notice of this meeting to the Press of Atlantic City, the Star Ledger, and the Atlantic County Record on January the 8th, 2025. Mr. Cheek?
Here.
Mr. Laws?
Here.
Mr. Vitale?
Here.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Here.
Mayor Schenker?
Here. Can we have a moment of silence for private reflection, please? Thank you. First, we have a few proclamations to give out. I'll go down there. I'll help you out, Bob. Thanks. Yeah, that kind of guy.
Here we go.
So tonight's a very testing. Okay, tonight's a very special night for me. We get to and for all of us. Ever since Dr. Witherspoon suggested we honor women from Hamilton Township for this Women in History award, I've been just moved for us to be able to, honor the young women and women in Hamilton Township at these meetings. Today, we're going to honor three very, very important ladies who actually have impacted not just our community, but the county alike, and we're just very proud of them. So I'm going to start with Miss Mari DeTolo. I am pronouncing that right. I've only known you for 100 years, but I've worked with Mari in the casino for a number of years. We met when we were kids. I think we were kids. We met when we were kids, and her husband also. We all worked at Bally's together. So to see what she did in our community is nothing short of amazing. But I wasn't surprised because of the type of employee she was. Today, honoring Mari DeTolo for National Women's History Month. Whereas the Township of Hamilton is proud to recognize individuals who have dedicated themselves to preserving and enriching our community's history, especially during Women's History Month. Whereas Mari DeTolo has devoted her life to researching, documenting, and sharing the rich history of Hamilton Township, ensuring that the stories of our past are not forgotten. And whereas through her tireless research, Mari uncovered the history of the great train crash of the late 1800s in Hamilton Township, a tragic event that claimed the lives of approximately 30 individuals, but also showcased the bravery and compassion of the community and residents of Hamilton Township that rushed to their aid. Whereas Mari immortalized this pivotal moment in local history through her book, Between the Shore and the City, Tragedy at Mays Landing, and further brought the story to life through a documentary, ensuring that future generations can learn from and reflect on this piece of heritage. And whereas Mari's passion for education extended beyond history, as she played a vital role in bringing the Children's Museum to the Hamilton Mall and ensuring that it remained in place where children could explore, learn, and grow. And whereas Mari DeTolo has accomplished all this while courageously battling advanced Parkinson's disease, demonstrating resilience, determination, and an unwavering commitment to her community. And now, therefore, it be resolved, the sworn members of Hamilton Township Committee in Mays Landing, New Jersey, do hereby honor Mari DiTolo during National Women's History Month, recognizing her as a historian, educator, and a true pillar of our community in perpetuity, as established this 17th day of March in this year of 2025.
This train accident had 1,300 people on this train. 30 of them passed away. They were all Irish. And I think it's the timing and the date is just perfect.
Thank you so much. And thanks for all your hard work. We appreciate it. And my mom used to say, in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been, right? So we're super proud of Mari. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are honoring Riley Lerner for National Women's History Month. Whereas the Township of Hamilton recognizes and celebrates the contributions of remarkable women who have shaped history and paved the way for the future generations, and whereas Riley Lerner, a proud member of our community, has demonstrated extraordinary dedication and perseverance in advocating for the rights of female athletes. And whereas a young wrestler, Riley challenged gender barriers by competing against boys and excelling in the sport, provoking that skill and determination know no boundaries. And whereas recognizing the lack of female representation in high school wrestling, Riley became a driving force in the movement to establish women's wrestling as an officially recognized sport at the state level. And whereas through her advocacy and determination, Riley not only helped bring about this recognition, but also competed in 4 state championships, inspiring countless young women to pursue their athletic dreams. And whereas Riley continues her wrestling career at the collegiate level, we're passionately advocating for young women in sports across the country, empowering the next generation of female athletes to break barriers and follow their passions. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the sworn members of Hamilton Township Committee in Mays Landing, New Jersey, do hereby honor Riley Lerner during National Women's History Month, recognizing her as a trailblazer, role model, and champion for women in sports in perpetuity, as established this 17th day of March in the year of 2025. Riley, we're very proud of you.
I'll say this, I wouldn't be where I am today without my parents, who are both here. They always taught me since I was younger that whatever I put my mind to, I can do, and it doesn't matter. how many haters there are. What you want to do, you can do, as long as you put your mind to it.
Riley was in town for the weekend last weekend, and I kind of made her stay. So thank you for staying in town, not going back to school, giving us an extra week. We are honored to have you as a pillar in this community. Last but not least, and this award is probably overdue, so I just want to thank our committee for getting on board and allowing me to do a third person. I got to tell you, this young lady and I have been friends a long time also, but we were on opposite sides of a subject before, and our friendship and our level of love for each other has superseded any differences that we may have ever had. So if you got questions, if you're wondering, this young lady's a friend of mine, and she always will be. So I'm gonna put that there before I even start reading. Honoring Martina Santana Napa for National Women's History. Martina, I should do the honor of wearing my glasses, right? So I can keep going. Whereas the Township of Hamilton takes great pride in recognizing outstanding individuals who have made a lasting impact on the community, especially during Women's History Month. Whereas Martina Santana Napa has dedicated countless hours to supporting and uplifting the youth of Hamilton Township through her unwavering commitment and leadership. Whereas, as president of the MLAA Mays Landing Lakers youth football program, Martina's passion and guidance led the Lakers to multiple championships, instilling discipline, teamwork, sportsmanship in young athletes. Whereas, beyond the football field, Martina's dedication to our children, to the children of our community, extended to her work in early childhood education, where she nurtured and cared for our youngest members of Hamilton Township. Whereas Martina has continued her mission of service and mentorship at Davies Middle School, where her dedication, compassion, and unwavering support have made her an invaluable asset to students and staff alike. And whereas Martina Napa, if I messed that up again, Martina, you got full range, just pop me upside the head. It is coming. Okay, whereas Martina Napa has never wavered in her commitment to supporting every child she encounters, making a profound difference in their lives and shaping the future of Hamilton Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the sworn members of Hamilton Township Committee in Mays Landing, New Jersey, do hereby honor Martina Santana Napa during National Women's History Month, recognizing her as a trailblazer, mentor, and role model for generations to come in perpetuity, as established this 17th day of March in the year of 2025. Come on up here. I know that she run her program, she helped me run mine sometimes.
She's a pretty good mom, too. She's got a bunch of great kids. We love them all, right?
I know your voice is bad, but you can say,
I just want to say thank you to our township who has backed up the Lakers program through all of my wants and needs and battles. They've always been by my side to do what's best for our township, and I can't thank them enough for my phone calls, my texts, my harassing texts to help me make sure that our program is ran best for every kid in our township. So I thank them for that.
lastly, I'd like to say thank you to Martina and the MLAA. The first card I got when my father passed away, and I didn't even know anybody knew, came from the MLAA and Martina. And I just want to say thank you so much, guys. I love you. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Bobby was trying to get me to cry on that last one. It didn't work.
do it myself and fight.
Uh-huh, yeah. Okay. Yep. You want to excuse yourself?
Mayor, I'd like to excuse myself. I have another engagement, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Not a problem. We have no additions or deletions. Early public comment on the agenda items excluding items listed for public hearings.
We have Frank Roby for 3A, 4A, and 6B.
3A, 3A. And 4A?
4A and 6B.
6B, okay. Hi, Frank, how are you?
Good, you?
Good. You give us your address, please?
Sure. Frank Roby at 309 Farragut Avenue. Amazing.
Thank you.
Just wanted to talk a little bit about the redevelopment agreement, I guess, that's going to be entered into tonight.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting thing is to search for Amazon facilities opening and closing. They definitely are, they right size. And, so just make sure we protect ourselves, if something like that were to happen.
Okay.
Second thing on the municipal budget presentation, is it possible for to get a more detailed budget at some point? Because there's that 70-page thing that doesn't really have a lot of information, like how much does the cove cost us every year? That's I couldn't find that anywhere,
Okay.
and I don't want to do a FOIA request or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why.
Brett, is that possible?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure if you just make a request, that it can be provided for you.
Okay. The last thing on your amendment to LoSAP, I wanted to thank everyone a lot. That means a lot to us.
Mm-hmm. Our pleasure, believe me. We're trying to do the best we can with that situation, and each year we're trying to do a little bit more.
Yep.
So
We appreciate
we
it.
appreciate what you do. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thanks. No one else has signed up.
That's it? Okay, so let's move on to 3. Discussions, formal action may be taken. Amazon.com Services LLC, 4501 Black Horse Pike, Block 1135.01 and lot 10.01. Presentation of the redevelopment agreement.
Before they get up, my name is Erin Simone. I'm with Mally Givens. I am the redevelopment counsel for the township. This presentation tonight is to go over not only the redevelopment agreement, but also to do a consistency review for the master plan. That is not a site plan review. That'll happen at the
Right.
planning board. It's just to make sure it is substantially consistent with what your intent was under the redevelopment plan.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn this over to Amazon for them to do their presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, committee members.
Nice to see you
Again,
again.
nice to see you. Joe Papero from Porzio on behalf of Amazon.com Services, LLC. First of all, I want to thank the township again for its cooperation and collaboration throughout this process. As the mayor correctly noted at the March 3rd, 2025 Township Committee meeting, this is a process through which we are proceeding through redevelopment. This is one of many steps. On March 3rd, we appeared before this body for a request for a partial assignment of the escrow agreement that's in place and the conditional redeveloper designation. The committee approved that assignment and conditionally named Amazon.com Services, LLC, the redeveloper of a portion of the site that was the former Atlantic City Race Course. So to build on that progress and that momentum from the March 3rd meeting, we've worked collaboratively with the Township's Redevelopment Council on the negotiation of a redevelopment agreement. That's the next logical step in the process. We need, as a conditional redeveloper, to enter into a redevelopment agreement with the Township, which basically sets forth the parameters of the process that we're going to engage in, which will ultimately lead us to the Planning Board of the Township of Hamilton for a site plan and subdivision application for the project. We've worked again with the township's attorneys to negotiate the redevelopment agreement that you have before you this evening. We're asking that you consider that redevelopment agreement for approval so that we can again continue on this journey to the next logical step. That agreement contains a number of provisions. Also, it contains conceptual plans. We've worked with our design team and reviewed the redevelopment plan that the township adopted for this area. And to ensure that what we're proposing is in fact consistent with the redevelopment plan that you prepared. In 2024, the township adopted the redevelopment plan for the Atlantic City Racecourse redevelopment area. That redevelopment plan contains a number of goals and objectives. It contains the zoning criteria and design standards for which this project's going to be held. For those that aren't as familiar, throughout the redevelopment process, the redevelopment plan that's in place is really the zoning regulations that a redeveloper has to follow and adhere to for their site plan application before the planning board. So again, our team reviewed in depth that redevelopment plan and prepared conceptual plans which were attached to the redevelopment agreement that you have before you this evening as Exhibit B. Starting with what's on the screen, Exhibit A to the redevelopment agreement is very similar to what was presented to you at the March 3rd meeting. The purpose of this exhibit is to more definitively identify the property in question. As you heard from our presentation on March 3rd, the Atlantic City Racecourse site is a large site, and the proposed Amazon facility, the Fulfillment Distribution Center, will be located on a portion of that site. There will be a subdivision as part of the site plan and subdivision application to the planning board. And as we discussed, that portion of the site is identified as proposed Lot A. Proposed Lot A is what depicts the fulfillment center conceptually. That again is a portion of the site in question. That Exhibit A is attached to your redevelopment agreement, and that is a more definitive identification of the property in question. The redevelopment agreement also calls for conceptual plans. Those plans were submitted to you all and attached as Exhibit B to the redevelopment agreement. The purpose of these plans is not to seek site plan approval. These aren't plans that would be, that a request would be made for a building permit. There's still a number of steps that the redeveloper must proceed before anything can move forward with it on the construction side. These plans are conceptual, however, they do contain extensive zoning criteria and data that's set forth on the charts that are to the right of the plan. The purpose of those zoning tables is to demonstrate to you, to your satisfaction, that our team has consulted your redevelopment plan and has designed this project to be consistent. What do we mean by consistent? Consistency is a demonstration that your zoning criteria, as set forth in the redevelopment plan, has been incorporated. Things such as building setbacks, coverages, lighting, landscaping, parking requirements. All of those criteria that you, as a township, put in the redevelopment plan as the guidelines for any development of this site, regardless of whether or not it was Amazon or another redeveloper, would have to follow. We've demonstrated on these plans that what's proposed is consistent. There are no deviations from your redevelopment plan. This conceptual site plan, again, includes in that table all of the requirements that are set forth in your redevelopment plan, such as the setback of the facility from the property lines, configuration of parking and driveways and the like. It also contains the building height, which is in conformance with the redevelopment plan. And at the bottom of that chart, there is a detailed discussion of lighting requirements. Your redevelopment plan has extensive lighting direction and guidelines. We've included that information as well to demonstrate consistency with the zoning criteria that you've set forth for this redevelopment area. The second sheet of the conceptual plans is the landscaping proposal. Again, the landscaping proposal, this is not finalized. Obviously, what's submitted to the planning board for its consideration will be more detailed. as well as the conceptual site plan will also be more detailed. But again, the purpose of these plans this evening is to demonstrate what we call consistency with the landscaping requirements that you've provided in your redevelopment plan for this area. There is a chart on this sheet in the center of the bottom that demonstrates compliance. There are no deviations or relief that we're seeking from your redevelopment plan at this time. It provides landscape buffers. The redevelopment plan goes into detail about significant perimeter landscaping that's being required. And again, all of those requirements are set forth in the redevelopment plan, and we've included those on these plans for your consideration this evening to demonstrate that what's before you at this stage in the process is consistent with the redevelopment plan from a zoning criteria perspective as well as design guidelines. Your redevelopment plan also notes a number of goals and objectives, and I think it's important to just emphasize those. I'm referring to section 245-54 of the redevelopment plan, specifically items F, G, and H. Item F in the redevelopment plan talks about the transfer of privately owned and maintained section of Leipzig Avenue to ownership by the county. To promote job growth, that's letter G, as a goal and objective of your redevelopment plan. I think during our March presentation, a question was asked of Amazon as to anticipated job creation, and that information was provided at the March meeting. So I'm confident that this proposal advances item G of the redevelopment goals. And finally, letter H talks about the improvement of the unimproved portion of Paddock Street. That's also a component of this project. So just, again, preliminarily, we've identified a number of the goals and objectives of your redevelopment plan that are being furthered by this proposal. So, again, I know I'm going quickly through this, Mayor and committee members. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain those. I just wanted to emphasize, and I believe, Council already, explained what the purpose of tonight's presentation is. Again, we don't want any misunderstandings that these plans are going to be the end-all, be-all that's submitted to the planning board. These will be more refined. Your land use ordinance requires very specific checklist items that the planning board must see before that application can be deemed complete. There is other outside agency filings that we need to keep the township apprised of, whether it's the county, NJDOT, or other agencies. So again, this is the next step in the process, but this is certainly not what's going to be ultimately presented to the planning board. It's going to be this concept, but again, putting more technical flavor to it because the township engineer is going to require it. Your site plan checklist requires it. Again, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
After reading the draft agreement and the resolution, I don't see an amount for the escrow.
Sure. It's a great question. That the provision of the redevelopment agreement actually refers to the escrow agreement that was under your consideration at the March 3rd meeting. That was an assignment of the escrow that was originally entered, but it's a $25,000 escrow that's required of a redeveloper. And that escrow, again, is submitted so that the township's consultants can be compensated for the work that they're doing on behalf of the township so that the township doesn't bear the cost of those reviews. And again, the back and forth that you've heard that we've had with the town's consultants. So the escrow is set forth in that agreement that was before you on March 3rd. I'm happy to report that it's fully executed by Patriot Equities and Amazon, and we've presented it for the township's countersignature. And we've also provided the required $25,000 check to the Township of Hamilton.
Thank you very much. In the event that there are more fees, I guess you would come back and...
Yeah, that has to... It's a great question. That has to be, according to the terms of the escrow agreement, it has to be replenished. If that's depleted, for instance, if the township has to hire a certain consultant to review these plans and materials, the redeveloper has an obligation to keep that fund continuously replenished, and obviously we would do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else?
Fine.
I'd just like to say thank you for coming in, and this is, to be clear, this is just the next step. We're going to go from here, if this passes, to go to the planning board and start getting into the nitty-gritty of what the actual project is going to be. So we got a little ways to go yet.
We do. We again appreciate it, and
Yep.
thank you for your time and consideration this evening.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have a resolution in front of us authorizing the execution of this redevelopment agreement.
I'll motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Rita, let's do a roll call on this, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. We will move on to the 2025 municipal budget presentation. Brett? For those of you who don't know, Leon Costello is the gentleman in the brown jacket. He's our auditor. We all know Nick. Yeah,
Mood lighting.
I like it. You ain't kidding there.
Let's see, I might use this. Good evening. All right, tonight we're going to introduce or hopefully introduce the 2025 municipal budget in Hamilton Township. 2025 budget sees familiar challenges as last year and the year before, and all the years since COVID. We're going to talk about challenges of developing a budget during strained times, how we got here, what is in the budget, and what are we doing to make it work, and some solutions. So first, we're going to talk about impacts to the budget and our challenges. Everyone in the room knows that the cost of goods and services are still way above prior years. We're also competing with neighboring towns and the private sector to secure and keep our employees. Employee health insurance rates are high. They went up 16% this year. We're going to talk about that more. They went up 7% last year, and the year before they went up 20%. So health insurance is just going up. Pension payments are going up. Our cost to maintain our equipment and vehicles is continuously gone up since COVID. Fluctuation in utility costs, electric, gas, natural gas, diesel. Solid waste services and our landfill fees are all up in 2025. Right off the bat, we were told by the state earlier this year that we were going to lose $287,000 in municipal relief aid. That equals about 1.4 cents on the tax bill. So that right off the bat was a killer for us. Workman's comp and general liability insurances are up about $136,000 this year. As I spoke of earlier, state health benefits increased 16.4% this year, which is terrible. I mean, it's very significant to our budget. Utilities, we talked about this at, I think it was the last meeting or the meeting before. The rates went up last year. They're talking about more rate increases in 2026. Natural gas is up. Gasoline and diesel prices are up, but not too bad, but they're still up. Talked about this, the cost of retaining employees to compete with the private sector and neighboring towns. We have contractual obligations, training, healthcare, and pensions. Our third party contractual obligations are up. Our fleet maintenance contracts, HVAC and plumbing, snow removal, solid waste, yard waste, and recycling collections are up. Janitorial's up, insurances are up, and animal control is up this year. Software and software licensing have increased in 2025, and so has our cyber security and insurance. We talk about this. We've talked about this for the last 7 years. The continued loss of our brick and mortar retail. Hamilton Township is built around brick and mortar retail. Since the last 7 years, we lost roughly $31 million in ratables. And these are some of the stores that we lost in 2024. More responsibilities in 2025, increased maintenance to aging public facilities and roadways and parks, equipment maintenance services and the price of parts are all up, and we have increased compliance reporting and regulatory requirements. So, I'm going to tear the Band-Aid off. In order to balance our current revenues against our expenditures, the 2025 budget will need to include a 2.95 cent tax increase. We are introducing a legal and balanced budget. It's $31,066,631.75. This budget represents the total budget with grants included. As you can see from this chart here, this is the increase from 2024 to 2025. It's roughly $711,000 from 2024. This is a graph that shows what we use in our operating surplus each year to balance the budget. We're up about $54,000 this year from last year, but we are still down from 2023. This is money that we have in the surplus that we use to offset the tax increase. So it's important for everyone in the room to know, and I didn't have this slide last year, we didn't start at a 2.9 cent tax increase. We ended there. To get to the 2.95 cent tax increase, we had to make permanent and sustainable cuts to the structural operating budget. We cut $418,000 out of our operating budget. We also cut $238,000 from our capital improvement fund. This is money that we used in prior years to fund police cars and ambulances and fire trucks, stuff like that. We had to cut that this year to keep it at the 2.95. We also moved cannabis revenue into the budget from Myrna, which is a revenue not anticipated. We were able to move in $155,000 in cannabis revenue to get us to the 2.95. We did add one full-time. Normally, we try to keep this number very stable, especially with full-time employees. We did add one full-time employee this year, which is our electrical inspector. First reason for that was a succession plan for our construction official retiring this year. He will take over as our construction official when Warren retires. So basically we'll drop back down in the summer to the number of employees that we had prior to him being hired in 2024. The other thing that we did was we canceled out our third-party inspection contract. We realized a net savings of $34,000. We moved most of our staff to higher deductible health insurance plans for 2025. This was a net savings of $30,000. We're also taking a really hard look at solid waste this year. Our contract's up with ACUA. We're trying to determine whether we're going to enter into another agreement with them, go out to bid. It's going to be a long process trying to work those numbers out and make that decision this year. We're going to talk a lot more about that. 2025 is a transition year. There's a lot of positives, and the township really is moving in the right direction. We just heard from Amazon. We're going to talk about other projects and possibilities for the year. Redevelopment in 2025. Sale and future redevelopment of Atlantic City Racecourse. We have had positive talks with the ownership of and future of the Hamilton Mall. So we've been in talks with Hamilton Mall and trying to come up with some ideas and future use of the site. We have some potential redevelopers looking in the design commercial zone, so that's good. We're also looking forward to the groundbreaking of one of our previously approved cannabis establishments. looking at the continued efforts at the Cotton Mill property, which is in Mays Landing, the former Wheaton's facility. And this year, we're finally going to start redeveloping our municipal landfill. We'll start this year, and probably by the end of next year, I think we'll start the solar project. We added 22 commercial ratables since I gave this presentation last year, and this is a list of them. What we're doing, looking into all grant opportunities, solutions to offset the loss of retail, and marketing township property to sell and get back on the tax rolls. Other goals, taking a hard look at the municipal fee structures and permits, specifically in the construction, zoning, and public works departments. Making sure we are consistent with the surrounding towns and times regarding fines, penalties, and compliance. We're also looking to enhance our efforts to enforce property maintenance code and looking at new litter abatement measures. Continue to invest idle funds. In 2024, we realized $932,000. Basically, what we're doing is we're investing our surplus, and this is what we received in 2024 in interest, the $932. That helped the budget this year. We're exploring new shared services opportunities, and we're continuing to reduce debt. We're paying down about almost $2 million, $1.73 million this year. Goals in the fire department. We're continuing our consolidation efforts of the Township of Hamilton Fire Department. Our fire administrator is seeking grants to offset equipment costs and apparatus. We're recruiting new volunteers and trying to create new incentive programs to keep volunteers there and recruit new volunteers. We did increase our pay per run incentive this year. We doubled it, went from $5 to $10 a call, and tonight we're actually talking about increasing the LoSAP. So this is just a pie chart that shows where the taxes go. You can see that the township keeps 27%, the county takes 20%, and the schools take about 53%. And this is estimated right now because the school hasn't introduced their budget yet. How much will this budget cost the average taxpayer? The average home in Hamilton Township is worth $168,500. This homeowner, if your home is assessed around if your home's assessed around this price, you'll pay about $1,685 in municipal taxes. That's about $77 more in 2025 with the 2.9% increase. How is this $1,685 spent? We broke it out. 30% on public safety, 17% on public works, insurances 13%, utilities 4%. Statutory is pensions and all of our statutory requirements about 11%, capital improvements 6%, and all the rest of government is about 19%. How your tax dollars are spent. What do public safety services include? They include police protection, fire protection, our rescue squad, emergency management, court services, animal control, and code enforcement. What do public works services include? Road maintenance and construction, stormwater inspection and maintenance, flood mitigation, Lenape Dam oversight, park maintenance and construction, recreational facility maintenance, snow removal, and roadside litter abatement and clean communities. Public works services include solid waste. It's weekly trash and bulk waste collections, bi-weekly recycling, landfill fees, yard waste collections, and public education. General government is everything else. Administration, finance, audit services, risk management, our legal and engineering, planning office, industrial commission, zoning board, the construction, fire prevention, and code enforcement offices, tax assessment, abatements and affordable housing, tax collection, and IT. What is in the 2025 budget? Enhancing existing services, investing in community development, maintaining and improving the township's infrastructure, and continuing to invest in our employees. We're funding public events this year. The Cove will be back open this summer. We have the September 11th Memorial, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, holiday tree lighting, National Night Out, Rabies Clinic, and Public Works and Police Services for the Halloween Parade and Hometown Celebration. This budget provides 5% of the required funding for up to a $2 million capital ordinance. That's up to. That doesn't mean we're going to do a $2 million capital ordinance, but we have the 5% down payment in the introduced budget for roadway and drainage improvements, municipal infrastructure and complexes, recreational planning and expansion, public works equipment, and emergency services equipment. A quick snapshot of our capital program. We're looking to increase or do a phase 2 at the Leapy tract. Right now our engineer's doing some design and we're getting ready to possibly submit to Pinelands to get approvals. We'll have a 2025 road program. This year's capital budget would allow for up to $1 million in road and drainage improvements. Grant-funded improvements. These are all the grants that we have to work with in this budget year. We have an NJDOT state aid grant for Babcock Road. We're going to pay from Summers Point Road just shy of the Hess School. I hope we'll get to Oakwood Boulevard. NJDOT state aid, Babcock Road Bikeway, that's actually under construction right now. And we have a Safe Streets to Transit project on Dennis Foreman Drive for sidewalks. It's $133, so we're rolling about $432,000 in grants into this budget. Grant applications that we have out this year, we have a DCA grant for $100,000 for Leapy Track for a third hockey court. We have a Green Acres supplemental funding grant in for $1.7 million. This is a low interest loan. The previous grants that were previous loans that we got at Leapy were for 2%. This one's actually going to be 0% if we get it, so that's pretty good. We're paying about 4% right now. And a DOT municipal aid grant for road paving for $350,000. Ongoing capital improvements, the Lenape Spillway project. We're hoping this gets done late summer, but should be substantially complete in the fall. Train trestle reconstruction. This year we're going to complete the design and submit to NJDOT for approval and begin permitting in 2025. Sustainability and Adopt a Road program, looking to increasing our litter abatement program and add new volunteer groups, promote our rigid plastic, metals, and electronics recycling programs, enhance public awareness, which is really important. It's probably more important than all of this. Expand on the efforts of the sustainability team and explore all grant opportunities. We're going to continue exploring grant opportunities in 2025 for infrastructure, all federal and state road grants, safe streets grants for around schools, energy efficiency opportunities. Right now we're looking to convert all the street lights in Hamilton Township to LED. We're doing a cost analysis for that right now. Public safety and recreation, DEP and Green Acres grant applications. Two of those out there. We continue to invest in our community. Halloween parade to Cove Beach, various events at Memorial Park, infrastructure, and our police and emergency services. Budget schedule. Tonight we introduce, we'll have a public hearing on April 21st. If there's no amendments, we will adopt the budget on April 21st. Questions?
Anyone have any questions?
I'm fine.
I don't have a question, but I kind of have a statement, I guess. So first of all, I'd like to thank the Finance Committee And also Township Committee. There was a few items that we had to bring to Township Committee in executive session. This was a very challenging budget, as you can see. You're at 2.95. If you take out the money that the state decided not to give us this year, you're at 1.5. So cutting the aid, and this is the final blow of state aid that has, where they get all the money and then they dwindle it back to us. And you have to understand that happens less and less and less every year to now it's a nothing. And we have to react to it, and this is part of what you're seeing in this budget. The state continues to do things like they did last year where they mandated that we buy a $300,000 street sweeper and gave us no money to do it. So these types of things keep happening to not just us, to every municipality. And, like Brett had said, we are a retail community and retail's not doing well. And we are looking for opportunities such as Amazon and others to lift us back up again. Budgets are very simple. The money you have and the money you spend have to be the same. So, you look at your electric bill that you're seeing at your own home, we see this tenfold. This is the reason why Brett had mentioned that we're looking into LED lighting. Can save the township a tremendous amount of money on our electric bill. So I just wanted to make those few comments so everybody understands. Nick and Brett did a lot of cutting in this budget to keep us close until we see some of these businesses that have come in to start giving us a full year of revenue, and that may help us out a little bit. Like I said to everyone before, cannabis is nice. It's not going to balance your budget. It's just a little, as you saw, it's a small piece of money that we get, which is great. I'm not unhappy about it, but the reality of it is it's not going to fix the direction that not just this municipality is going, but other municipalities are going. So it's a continuing fight. I appreciate everybody's hard work on this. It was a lot. And overall, maybe not the best budget I've ever seen or ever been involved with, but pretty good considering the circumstances and what we had to deal with. Healthcare is literally out of control. So until they figure out that one, which we're going to need people smarter than me to figure that one out, this is where we're at. So thank you very much, everyone. We have a resolution to introduce the 2025 budget and set a public hearing for April 21st, 2025. Committee?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, Rita, could you give me a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Patali?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and introduced.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Brett. Nice job. Number 5, public hearings, adoptions of ordinance. We have none. Number 6, we have introductions of ordinances. Public hearings will be heard on April 7th, 2025. A, ordinance 2098, 2025, an ordinance amending to Chapter 144 of the Township Code to provide for or amend fees for certain construction permit applications in the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic. Brett, you want to give us a little, I think you kind of went over that in the budget, but could you just...
Yeah, so we're looking around. We're going to update our fees this year in the construction office. The goal is to break even in that office. We're a little low, so
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. Just getting up with
Gotcha.
the times.
All right. Committee?
Motion.
It's a public hearing.
Oh,
This
I'm
is an
sorry.
introduction,
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
correct?
Yes, you're right.
Thank you. This is the first time this month, so we're doing good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or concerns? Rita, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Patali?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes, thank you.
All yes and introduced.
B, ordinance 2099-2025, an ordinance to amend the ordinance number 1346-99 as amended, titled, an ordinance implementing emergency services length of service award program, or also known as LOSAP, pursuant to New Jersey NJSA 40A 14-183 to replace LoSAP point system for firefighters set forth in Exhibit A attached to ordinance number 1346-99 to adapt and establish a new point system for volunteer firefighters to be identified as Exhibit A-1-2025.
Could you say that again?
No, I cannot. I cannot. I don't even know what half I just read there. I don't even know. Right, can you give all these folks a background on this? We kind of know what's going on, but they should know too.
So we have 4 fire departments, and this gets the 4 fire departments an equal chance to get the LoSAP credit because they don't all run the same amount of calls. So this just readjusts the point system to give them more of an opportunity in Mays Landing, especially since they have so many calls to meet the LoSAP requirement.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we also moved not that has anything to do with this, we moved LoSAP from 1,000 to 1,200?
Yeah, so we have a resolution further down in the
Further
agenda
down, yes.
to move the annual LoSAP incentive from $1,000 to $1,200.
So this is also part of our trying to not only maintain members, but get more members to come in. And you know, the nicer it is for them. I mean, these ladies and gentlemen are out all hours of the night, all hours of the day doing what they do for our township, and we have to take care of them. Committee?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none. Rita?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and introduced.
Thank you. We'll move on to number 7, award of bids, contracts, and change orders. A is a resolution accepting a renewal proposal for dental insurance from Delta Dental of New Jersey for the period of 3/1/2025 to 28/2027, not to exceed $175,000.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions, comments? Rita, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. Number 8, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
I'll motion for 8A through 8G.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Move on to personnel. A, resolution to appoint Jack Markley as a full-time truck driver laborer at $41,600 base salary annually, plus annual compensation of $2,000 for possessing and maintaining a Class A CDL and $500 tanker endorsement per Teamsters Local 331 agreement, effective 4/1/2025.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Are there any questions or comments? Rita, can we do a roll call vote on this, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. B, we have a resolution in front of us appointing Robert Fink as MUA Alternate 2 to fill an unexpired 5-year term expiring February 1st, 2028.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Number 10, approvals, minutes, regular meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
I
The ayes.
I abstain.
Okay. B, what do we got? Three ayes and 1 abstention. Rita, you good with that?
I am.
Okay, because I wasn't.
I
Okay,
should
good.
have said that.
You're not good with that? Pitch. He's not good with that.
I'm not having it. Anyway, B, minutes, executive session meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all, Rita, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cheek?
Abstain.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
3 yes, 1 abstention. Motion
Thank you.
carries.
C, bills, bill list totaling $1,729,083.96.
So move. So move.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none. Rita, could we do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Cheek?
Yes.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Mayor Schenker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. We'll move on. Number 11, reports. Mr. Administrator?
I have nothing to add tonight. Good.
Sure?
Yeah.
Had enough?
Whatever, I had
Yeah.
enough.
I'm with you. Mr. Solicitor?
Nothing to report this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Perfect. You guys need to return to your seats next time. You're messing me up, all right? Mr. Engineer, what do you got?
Nothing to add to our written report.
All right, thank you, sir. Township Committee, Dr. Witherspoon.
Yes, I would like to report on Friday, I will be attending the Atlantic County League of Municipalities meeting that will be held in Hamilton. That will be on Friday. I also would like to announce that I will be attending the concert at the Hess School on March the 27th. And I would like to report to the committee that I have sent letters to our congressmen and our senators in reference to Social Security, veteran services, and things that could be cut, that I wanted them to support Social Security and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things that we all can do. Sometimes people say that we can't do anything, but we can write the letters. There's power in the pen. And that is my report for today.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Just like to congratulate Maury, Riley, and Martina for being recognized for Women's History Month. 3 great women from our town. And it is nice to recognize them. That's really, really good. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot to say. So, Reagan, I'll see you later. Maddie, miss you, love you, and I hope to see you soon.
Very good. Committee Chief?
Sadly, a couple weeks ago, I lost my best friend, and I am just thanking everyone that supported me through that time. It was a very difficult time, and I thank everyone that supported me. And that's all I have.
Very good, thank you. I don't really have much. It's been a pretty quiet week, and I was out of town over the weekend, but I would like to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. I was fortunate enough to be part of the Atlantic City St. Patrick's Day Parade, and what a wild time that was. That's if you ever been, you should go. So with that, I'm gonna open up to the public, and anybody in the public like to speak. Jim.
That was a wonderful event Tuesday night at Harbor
Thank you, Jim.
Pines. So a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All the state assemblymen and state senators, policy.
Okay.
I can't wait until your next event.
I can't wait either. Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Miko Lukide, 24 Westover Circle. I also happen to be the executive director for AQUA, the Atlantic County Queer Alliance. Every year we hold our annual Pride in the Park at Memorial Park here in Mays Landing.
Mm-hmm.
This year we are excited to bring that back. This is our 4th year doing this event. We are very excited. It will be June 21st. We've already gone through everything with the township. We're still working on getting vendors. If there are any vendors who'd like to participate in this LGBTQ Pride Month event, feel free to come on over to me. I'll give you my card. But in addition to that, I also wanted to express an appreciation to the board this evening. Thelma Witherspoon for sponsoring and the rest of the board for approving the consent agenda item 8D for recognizing Transgender Day of Visibility, March 31st. It is a kindness to a community that desperately needs it right now. Even something as little as a township recognizing that day that's important to that community makes a big difference because they're struggling right now quite a lot. So I just wanted to express that appreciation from my heart and from my community to Hamilton Township. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Yes, sir.
Committee, Mayor, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Vince Azzarello. I live at 38 Lewis Drive, Mays Landing. I'm here today. I am one of the vice presidents at Shore Medical Center, and leadership has asked all of us to get involved in our community. I moved here over a year ago from West Virginia, near Pittsburgh. I'm very happy to be here. I enjoy the community. My role today really is to just introduce myself, make myself available to the community as a resource. Similarly, on behalf of Shore Medical Center, we want to be involved in our community. So, Brett, it's not my fault that you had a 16% increase in healthcare. So don't blame me.
So you're the guy.
But really, it's really just important that as part of the community, I enjoy here very much. It's different for me coming from the Pittsburgh area. Different in a lot of good ways. I love the fact that I don't have to get out in the cold and pump my own gas. But I do enjoy being part of the community. I will probably attend fairly regularly just because, not as a local citizen who's going to be someone who's going to be vocal, but otherwise just to be here. Not so much representing Shore Medical Center, but leadership has asked that we all get involved in our own communities. So I thought I would take the time to come today and introduce myself. I'll give my card to Rita for the record so she has my name and correct spelling and all that. But I'm happy to be here. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice. Welcome. Nice to have you. I was in Pittsburgh over the weekend. It's where my daughter lives, yeah. Yeah, she went to University of Pitt, you know, the whole thing with West Virginia. And yeah, how about that? Wasn't that something? Terrible.
I jokingly tell people that as a season ticket holder and as a Steeler fan.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. Calm down. You guys be quiet.
We were starting to like you till then.
The Eagles are not a natural rival. We have a collective enemy. We both hate the Cowboys.
Yeah. Everybody hates the Cowboys, except the guy that sits next to me. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to speak so you can get ridiculed?
Motion to close?
Motion to
wait a minute.
No? Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. I will accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it.